So Soviet US tokens. Um, this is a list that I personally haven't played in a while, and but I think I feel I still think that it sees quite a bit of play on the ladder, even now. It's like probably like fringe playable. I wouldn't even say it's a tier two deck necessarily at the moment, or at least not for the next little while. But and this list is not going to look a whole lot different from a lot of previous US tokens list, but the big change that we got is that in a recent balance update, Men of Steel here got the text that all your units can get heavy armor +1 with this first option. And so as a deck that's looking to pump out a ton of units and then giving them all heavy armor 1, that's kind of an interesting thing to explore. Now, for the most part, most decks don't care that your little 1/1s or like even if they're like 3/3s, they might with heavy armor. Well, if they're 3/3s, that's pretty good. But no one's gonna care about your 1/1s having heavy armor 1. But you'd be surprised at how good that can be against other aggro decks. To just have a bunch of 1/1s or 1/2s with heavy armor can be very difficult for other aggressive strategies to fight through that in the early game. And then as the game goes along, if once you've gotten your guys buffed with the alliance, having a bunch of heavy armor 3/3s on the board can be very, very annoying to deal with as well, unless they're running sweepers. So obviously this doesn't help us really so much against sweepers, but it seems like an interesting choice for other matchups. So we'll give it a try. I'm going like full. If you look at the curve of this deck, it's like very, very low to the ground. It's like all in on the aggressive strategy. No, I don't care about the 0-4 because ultimately we're trying to run people down, and having a bunch of life doesn't help us win the game in the tokens decks. Really, I've seen far too many tokens players running the 0-4 and then just dying with a ton of life. They get up to like 50, 60 HP health, and then they just end up dying anyway because they putter out and die. It's a nice card, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's necessary in this game. If you lose the game with the tokens deck, it's not because you didn't gain 40 health. Yeah. Yeah, on the surface it seems like a nice choice, but it's the way the games usually play out, it doesn't matter. Let's see. What else did I want to mention? In versions of this deck in the past, I've been running like maybe only half as many of these 0 and 1s. But I've gone up the full complement again because it's just like getting cheap, flooding the board with cheap bodies and like playing things like Men of Steel, the Alliance. They help you. The zero cost infantry especially are really good with Industrial Might, and also with the new 109th Combat Engineers. I say new, but like the relatively new 109th Combat Engineers. So I just wanted to go like full, very low to the ground, aggressive, and yeah, and like I said, I've seen some success with this. So hey, Scout, thanks for the raid, man. Hope you had a good stream. Yeah, hope you had a good stream and hope you have a good weekend. RD, Big Dog, and Willis, thanks for the follows. Really appreciate it. You're joining us just in time for us to play our next quote-unquote Field Marshal deck. I say that because we just played a Field Marshal deck and I got my butt kicked. So, Scout, thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. So, let's see if our wow, the follow train coming in, man. Scout, I really appreciate that. I know that's all because of you. Fibonacci, thanks for the follow. Ollie, thanks for the follow. I saw you streaming a bunch earlier this week. I was working, so I couldn't check it out, but I hope you had a successful streams. Dynamo and Big Ram, thanks a lot for the follows, man. Women, people. Sorry, I keep defaulting to that. You guys are awesome. Hope you yeah, stick around and hopefully we can get some good games here. I think I'll keep this hand to start. Mostly because I'm just like still trying to read my feed for all these follows. GLoff11, thanks for the follow. I'm not gonna forget it, Scout. Don't worry. So turn 2, we're lay down the 2 light infantry. Turn 3, we're looking to play 109th, move them up. Hopefully we can find something else to move up alongside with them. One of our light infantry. Yeah, that guy would be nice. This is assuming our opponent doesn't interact with us at all, however, which is unlikely. Okay. Okay, looking like we get an okay turn 3 here. Now we have Unity of Strength as well to like start the beatdown. Okay, I was gonna use Unity of Strength, 1 on each of these guys, but I wouldn't even get to attack with this guy because of his operation costs. So I think I'm just gonna move this up, hit this, shoot him in the face, and hope he doesn't have Flampanzer. In this current meta, a lot of the times we're gonna be hoping they don't have a Flampanzer. That's just the way it's gonna go. That is an interesting play from our opponent. Okay, are they just dead? Let's count. That's a 10. Yeah, they're just dead. So let's just make a big beefy boy. That was our first win of the day. We just played an hour with a so-called field marshal deck, and that was our first win of the day. Sometimes you just gotta aggro people out. It's very cathartic. After playing a mopey control deck and getting destroyed, it feels good to just run people over with aggro. Okay, they are Alexandria. If they are the air deck, we could be in trouble. This build doesn't this build has opted to play more things like the hammer to punch through pesky guard units and other ground units clogging up the front line, rather than playing Burning Skies to deal with air units, because most of the time Burning Skies isn't even good enough. But it does make us soft to... Do I want this as a redraw? No, I think I just look for a better start. I think it's okay. Yeah. It feels bad losing to the air decks when they get like their really good starts, but I think ultimately there's just some matchups you have to be okay being really bad in. Because I don't think I don't think playing Burning Skies is correct necessarily. Not in place of the hammers anyway. Hammers hit too many important units, I think, right now. But playing Burning Skies to hedge against what do I do here? I like want to buff something, and then he's just gonna sudden strike it. Alternatively, I could bounce this. It sucks because he can save it later for like one of our O1s, but if we know he has it, we just won't Unity one of our little guys. When we would do that. Next turn, like even if he replays it, he eats this. Then we play this, this, and then shoot him with this guy. Okay, well that's different. Do I want to play Unity of Strength? Assuming he's going to shoot this with that. We'll finish it off. We'll look to play No Surrender, maybe, but... Okay. That's not bad, because now we can alliance next turn. Actually, we probably don't want an alliance next turn because he has they'll still die to carpet bombing. So maybe what we'll do instead is we'll look to Unity one of these two, maybe the one that doesn't get bigger from Unity to Strength, and then yeah, see where we can go from there. I just go face, right? Like that's what our deck's doing. We just can't really... We have to make him spend the resources to kill our stuff, I think. Hopefully he doesn't have Sudden Strike. The German cards are very good against tokens right now. I mean, the German cards were always good against tokens. But... I think we're still on the prey. He doesn't have Sudden Strike plan. Oh, he's digging for it. I think I'm just going to concede if he Sudden Strikes our frontline unit. He does. We saw one earlier. He Sudden Striked our first 845th rifles that we played this game. I mean, to set a low bar, this deck is performing better than the... We're doing better than the last deck. He could be on stone nothing. Or he could just have a ton of units in hand and he's like forced to run his stuff in here. Yep. Alright. Industrial Might. Come on, Industrial Might. Another No Surrender. Huh. We're a bit far from killing him. I think one of these should go here. Or I could just be freeing up his support line and making a big mistake. I mean, can we afford to play nothing for 2 turns? Or are we just gonna play No Surrender, hope he doesn't have carpet bombing, and then maybe if we get like the engineers or another alliance, it's really good? I mean, chances are we're not winning this game. I don't think we're beating his hand of 7,000 cards. Very nice. I think that'll do it. Oh, well, there we go. We were 1 turn away from like basically winning the game on the spot. I think we'd go again and like pray, but we're on empty here. Our opponent our opponent had enough early game removal that it slowed us down enough that I think it's over. Yeah, I'll go call it there. GG's. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of token decks. Really? Well, that's not true. They have token decks have a special place in my heart because a budget Soviet Japan token deck was one of the first like semi-competitive decks that I played when I first started playing cards, and the BP-47 train was one of the first elites that I ever got in this game. So I had some good times climbing up the early spots of the Soviet ladder playing those decks. Another British deck. Basically have all the payoffs and none of the enablers. So I think we basically got to toss all of this back. Yeah, Tokens is a rough Germany matchup. Well, looks like we're going to get a similar start to what we did last game. I think Flampanzer's actually pretty... Yeah, well, this is the thing, Ben. If they're playing... if they're an air units build, then we feel silly keeping the hammer in our opener. I get that it's good against the guard units, but most of the time we can just fight through the guard units, and the really scary one that we would really care about, the hammer doesn't cleanly answer it. We're just hoping to get so far ahead on board that like bouncing it is like the better strategy. So what's better? Do we... Because I don't really want to bounce either of those. I kind of would want something else on the field. Is this Unity strength too early? Could just kill both of his things. But yeah, what was I gonna say before? I think Flampanzer is actually a fine card. It's just really good against tokens because tokens is a little bit of a slower, aggressive strategy. But for the most part, Flampanzer, like it comes down on 3, and you can't even like. It's really expensive to operate, so it's not like you can play back-to-back Flampanzers and like get tons of value out of them, you know what I mean? Like, and outside of against aggressive decks, it's just kind of it's just an okay card, right? A 3/4 that operates for 2 is like, yeah. But against aggressive strategies where it's killing their 1-drops, yeah, it's great. But oftentimes there's also the case where, sure, you're killing their 1-drops, but they're throwing so many at you that it just doesn't matter. They're getting value off of them before you can kill them. So ultimately, I think Flampanzer's a fine card. I wouldn't say it's broken or anything. It's just very, very good in the current meta, and it's just very, very... It's ubiquitous because it's everywhere. Everyone's playing German decks, and everyone has to respect this card. I think we would just want a bunch of redraws here. Sure. I'm fine with that. I'm going to save this in hand for when we get an Alliance or an Industrial Might. So after our first win against a very slow against, what was that? It was a US British deck with a very slow start. We ran into back-to-back German British German British control decks, which are very, very good against what we're doing. That's pretty greedy of our opponent because we could be running, I mean, we're running Bloody Sickle, right? I guess he saw us intercept one and play another. He's like hoping that we don't have another one in hand. So like GG, good for you. I think I bounced that just to save the 3-3. It's probably futile because we're just gonna get carpet bombed next turn, but I don't know, maybe we're lucky and we get like an alliance off the top or another unity of strength. Double Flampanzer. Yeah, or that. There's the unity. I mean, it just doesn't matter, right? Like it's a turn too late. If this was a 7-7. Hello and welcome all those checking out the stream. If this is your first time here, welcome. I stream every Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. This game's over. I'm just like keeping these in hand. Maybe some miracle draws involving... Nope, never mind. I'm just gonna play these out because, you know, there's a Soviet achievement, right? And look, ooh, shiny. You know what my stream slogan should be? I play bad decks so you don't have to. But to be fair, there is a big difference between... there's a big difference in power level between the average power level of the decks you're going to face on your way to Field Marshal versus versus the decks you'll play once you get there. Patty, thanks for the follow. Hope you are enjoying the stream and hope you are enjoying your Friday. At least we got to do the thing once. We like triple unity as strength one of our infantry and won the game, so that was cool. Do we want this 99th against the frontline deck? Or what is potentially the frontline deck? It's still a 2-3, I guess, and if he's playing a slower deck, it could be devastating. So let's just keep this hand. All right, playing R1-2. Who is even running that card? This guy. I'll play it out. If he kills it, it's like a distraction. So I'm fine with that. There, we save the point of health. Huh. Again, these are just distractions right now, saving us some points of health. And if he doesn't want to shoot them, then we can take the front line and bounce his stuff. Oh, Usace is a D-Day challenge. That makes sense. Oh, today is anything with supply in it. Good chance we just get burned out here. Ooh, that changes things though. I know he gets to just eat one of these and draw a card, and then this thing ends up drawing 2 in the long run, but we need to get stuff down to hopefully get more value off of the Unity of Strength. We're on fire! Assuming he's gonna kill one of the tokens with the thing. Yep. That'll be good later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I want to kill that? Yeah, just in case. Do we throw away both of these to get an 0-4 in the front line? I think that might be better. Our opponent is a very interesting build, I must say. Alright, are we going to see Men of Steel come in handy here? I actually want to use it after I get more units down. because I want to gain a little bit more health. Then we're gonna go... We want to bounce the artillery for sure. Play these two and draw some cards. Yeah, they had a really, really fast start. We might be able to turn the corner here. Depending on what their last few cards are, though. We know they have the artillery, which we don't really care about because we have the hammer. So it'll depend on what their final draw is here. Okay. That looks a lot worse than it actually is. Start with this. Ooh, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can attack with a bunch of things. He can't even finish this off with that. That's amazing. Karem Dindar, thanks for the follow. That was pretty cool. That alliance was super, super clutch. This is kind of showing off a little bit more of why you don't really need the, we want one of these at least. We might want both because of the stupid albacore. Kill it and get a bunch of redraws. Yeah, that might be fine. We have enough to do for our first couple turns, even if he doesn't give us valid targets for this. The 2/3s usually gaining us enough health to put us out of reach of like burn decks, so we don't need the 0/4 as much. So if he plays the albacore, we'll double bloody sickle it and play reserves, move the other infantry up. Attack formation. You know what? If he's gonna do that, I'm just gonna... Eh, maybe not. Maybe with these bloody sickles in hand, I'm supposed to finish that off. Yeah, I like that. Now we have something else to do with our credits. Play this guy out. We also found an alliance, which is nice. Definitely going to wait to save this 554th for the turn that we play alliance. It might not be next turn. We might want to play more stuff out. Okay. So do I get greedy and try to play as much stuff out as possible? I don't think I want to be slow, because I can't get these light infantry out of carpet bombing range anyway. Because unfortunately, heavy armor doesn't block order damage. I think it's right to do this. Get this guy in position, have a really nasty board. I thought we were going to see shelling there for sure. I'll be honest, I didn't know he was dead. I thought we were going to get him low. I didn't realize we'd get him to 0. Alright. I mean, cool. I didn't even do the math because like that turn was kind of autopilot. Yeah, even though this deck has some pretty bad matchups, because the games are so fast, it's not the worst for trying to grind into FM. Want both of these? I think we look for a payoff. Or just something more chunky like this. Okay, well that's gonna go to waste for him. Probably a resistance deck. Oh, he's a combo deck. Next turn, we're gonna play this, move everything up. But I think we start with this because we want to... Sure. Yeah, it's almost certainly baby combo. Well, that's annoying. That card is so good. Why does this only cost 2? Can't even play this and attack with something. I either have to deal 2 damage or play something else out. I think I play this out and pass. The nice thing about... You know what, actually? That might be a mistake. Because this card is one of the only in our decks that can heal us and put us out of range of his combo. So I think I'm supposed to save this for when I can get guaranteed get value off it. For example, bloody sickling. Let's do this and hope he doesn't have a sudden strike for it. I'll definitely run this into here if I can. That's one of the ways we lose this game for sure. But he's doing it himself. for the memes. Is he not baby combo? Maybe he's just afraid. Like, he can definitely kill us from this position, I suppose. But maybe he was just afraid of... Feels bad to use our entire turn doing that, especially if he like starts removing these as well, but getting him dead on board I think is important. Alright, that should be game. You shouldn't have a way to deal with this. Weird game. Yeah, maybe our opponent just really likes comboing, so he just wanted to he wanted us to have more HP so we could combo more. That makes sense. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you ever want to run your units into my healer and then let me gain 7 health. When you're the combo deck that, like, can oftentimes struggle to deal more than 20 damage. I don't think we want both of those in our opener. I think the rest is okay. I mean, I don't play baby combo, so I don't know. Maybe 25, 26 health isn't that much for it. I mean, I know it can do it. I've seen it. It just seems like a big... It just seems risky to do that. Oh, our enemy lost contact. New to the game... I'd like to ask a question. What's the next things you want to see in the game? Like the next thing, huh? I'll be honest, I think the next big thing for me is just a new set of cards. I like deck building. I like constructing decks. I like deck building. I like tweaking. I like playing on the ladder against other, you know, decks trying to figure out what's competitive. So I think for me, the biggest thing I just want to see next is the next big set, which I think we'll be getting by the end of the year, but... 30th of June... Well, 30th of June is a campaign. I'm talking like another alliance set. But yes, more cards is pretty much always going to be the thing I want to see the most. Other than that, like if that's too obvious of an answer, I think the next big thing I want to see, which is something we're getting very soon, is... I want to see more game modes. Personally, I would like to see more maybe 1v1 game modes, but we're getting a PvE, which I do think is important for this game, and so that's going to be pretty exciting. We're definitely going to be playing like quite a little bit of PvE on this stream, at least at first, when it comes out. So that's going to be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing another 1v1 game mode, though. What that looks like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a best of 3 type game mode against, or maybe there's like, I don't know. Maybe there's what else could you do? Just like alternate game modes with like alternate rule sets. Like I'd love to see a game mode where like the HQ you choose for your deck matters. That could be really cool. Ollie dropping some hints over here. That's cool. Yeah, like when I first started playing this game, one of the first things I realized was it's cool how each player starts with an HQ on the board so you can get a sense of what they're playing. But if the HQ also gave you some passives or some other bonus that related to your strategy, imagine like the information you could glean from what your opponent is playing and make better mulliganing decisions because of that. But also just like there's just so much more deck building options that open up if every nation has like 2 or 3 alternate HQs that they could choose from depending on their strategy, you know? So do we want to hammer this guy? Shoot their HQ? We could also just bounce it. Play out more unit. I think that's what we want to do. Let's just bounce it, play out more units. Then we're gonna like unity is strength something and just start going ham. Oh, why would he choose that one when I have this on the board? I think this game's over. It's not strictly over. He is running German cards after all. And we're like mostly out of gas, so this Industrial Might, while it's a very good card, if we don't find something like another Reserves or a No Surrender, it's kind of a dead draw. So if he goes like Flampanzer... Okay, well, never mind. Flampanzer kill one of our guys could have slowed us down. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he would have been left with 1 HP. You never know. I think I want to keep the hammer. I think I want to throw that back since we don't know what we're drawing here. Sure. Going to hold on to these for Industrial Might or just basically holding on to them for the opportune moment. It's too bad we didn't have that in our opening hand instead of this No Surrender. There's an argument for taking the front line with this so that if he wants to eat this, move this up, he can't also encircle this. I think that's what we gotta do, actually. Let's just slow him down. We just need to find a payoff now. We have plenty of, you know, tokens or token generators. We just need the payoff. Unity is strength, alliance. Even Industrial Might would be nice. Wow. Okay. I'm fine clogging the front line with this, with those two, and then doing this then. Oh, is he gonna take the front line with the tank? That would be nice. surprised he would do that rather than... I think we just make him spend the credits, yeah? Do we even move that up? Or do we wait till we potentially get an engineers? I think we can wait. Come on! Payoff! Anything! That's so annoying. Most of these Alpine decks don't run something like this. Alright, well, do we get it? No, not yet. Let's start with here. Okay, that's something. That's a start. Not quite what we needed. Oh, no, wait. Would I rather hammer? Or bounce? I think I'd rather hammer. And then I actually think we... Do we play around Eagle Claws? It's only by 1 unit, like, doesn't really matter. I was thinking just hold it back in case we get the thingy, but actually it doesn't matter because our support line's clogged. At this point, we might have just run out of gas, unfortunately. Yeah, sure, you have more blitzy tank units. I mean, an alliance here still wouldn't be awful if we could get it. Okay, Men of Steel's something. It lets us eat those two. Wait, not yet. I might want to use this and then give it plus. Do we bounce this guy? I think we do. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh no, that was the wrong order of doing things. I didn't think about that. So we should have one more 1/1. But who knows? Maybe maybe this guy having heavy armor is better. I doubt it, but honestly, the way this game has gone, like, he's down to 4 cards in hand. We would have won this game had we gotten a payoff. We're still not completely out of it either. I think we're supposed to kill this just so we can't get bigger and bigger. That alliance is like... If that alliance was like 2 cards higher in our deck. Yeah, so the one defense is not going to be relevant here because I'm gonna run this into here. So we should have another 03 with heavy armor 1 in the front line, but I made a mistake. This is the stream of mistakes. Learn from me. Learn from my failures. Okay, that would have been scarier in the early game. I don't think we care about it as much now. He definitely should kill the Russian unit, because he knows I have the alliance in hand. But if he wants to eat my 2-2, I'm fine with that. Close game. If we had that other 3-3... Alright, no surrender. Come on, no surrender off the top. What does he have in hand that he's not playing? Do I run this out just for the redraw? I think I hold one more turn. He must have Blitzkriegs in hand. That's what he has. We saw all those blitzy tanks. He must have things like Blitzkrieg and Encirclement in hand. That's what he's got. Oh! Let's start with you. I think we gotta go for it. Which one would we rather? Probably this one. I think I'm saving this for like something really nasty. And he's got an Enigma too. Wow. Alright, I think that's a good spot to end it. We're about to hit an hour with this deck. I think this deck... We had a little bit of a rough start, right? We completely ran over that one opponent we had, and then we lost 2 games in a row to British German control decks that were running things like Flampanzers, Sudden Strikes, and Albacores. Just like everything they want to be doing against us. And then did we drop a game since, or did we win every game after that? I can't remember. We did well anyway, so I mean, if you're looking for a little bit of a different style of aggressive deck, if you're struggling to get Soviets up to Field Marshal and you're tired of trying to slog it out with slower mid-range strategies, maybe give this one a shot. See how it does for you.